Hey everyone, and welcome to your very first Spanish lesson. Today we're jumping into one of the most important verbs in the entire language. Seriously, it's the key to introducing yourself, describing the world, pretty much everything. So let's get started.
So, you know how in English we have the verb to be? It's pretty straightforward. Well, in Spanish, that one idea gets split into two different verbs. Now, don't worry, it's way easier than it sounds. Today, we're going to absolutely master the first and most fundamental of the two, the verb ser.
Think about it for a sec. In English, we say I am, you are, he is. All those different words, am, is, are, they all spring from that one single idea of to be. In Spanish, that core idea is called ser. But just like you can't say I to be in English, we have to change or conjugate the verb for each person. All right, now this chart, this is our foundation. This is where it all begins. Let's walk through it together, and I really want you to try saying these out loud with me. Ready? For I am, we say yo soy. Can you say that? Yo soy. Great. For the casual, friendly you are, it's tú eres. For he, she, or the more formal you, it's just a simple es. For we are, it's nosotros somos. Now, the form for you all that you'll hear mostly in Spain is vosotros sois. And finally, for they are, we've got ellos son. This is your core cheat sheet, so really, feel free to pause and just let this sink in. Okay, here's a little pro tip for you, a shortcut that native speakers use constantly. Because the word soy can only mean I am, you actually don't need to say the yo. The I is already baked into the verb. So instead of saying yo soy de Georgia, you can just say soy de Georgia. It sounds so much more natural. So we've got the forms down, but the big question, right, is when do we use it? I mean, if there are two verbs for to be, how do we know which one to pick? Well, it all comes down to one simple core idea. And here's the rule. We use ser for things that are permanent, or at least long-lasting. It's for attributes that are part of the very essence or identity of a person or thing. Think of it like this. Ser describes characteristics that don't just change tomorrow. You know, you are tall, or you are a student. You would never use ser to say you're tired, because that's temporary. Ser is for what makes you, you. So how on earth do you remember all that? I have a super simple trick that I absolutely love to teach my students. It's an acronym, and the word to remember is POPIN. Yep, just like that. It's a really fun way to lock in all the main uses for ser. Let's break down this POPIN code. The first P is for a permanent condition, things like being tall or short or smart. The O is for occupation, what you do for a living, like being a doctor or a teacher. The second P stands for place of origin, where you come from. I is for identification, describing who or what something is. And finally, N is for nationality. If what you're trying to say fits into one of these POPIN categories, you're gonna use ser. Simple as that. Now, a super important but quick tip for the O in our acronym for occupation. When you're talking about someone's job in Spanish, you actually drop the a or an. So you wouldn't say she is a doctor. Instead, you just say ella es doctora. It's a small detail, but it'll make you sound so much more like a native speaker. All right, enough with the theory, right? The rules are great, but seeing the language out in the wild is where it all really starts to click. Let's look at a couple of quick dialogues to see how these POPIN rules work in a real conversation. Okay, check this out. This example uses two of our rules perfectly. The first person asks, ¿De dónde eres? Where are you from? Boom! That's place of origin, our first P. The answer, soy de Georgia, soy americano, covers both place of origin and nationality, the P and the N from our POPIN acronym. See how it works? And here's another one. ¿Quién es ella? Who is she? That's identification, our I. And the answer? Ella es profesora. She is a professor. And that's occupation, our O. It's like a little roadmap, isn't it? The POPIN rules just guide you right to the correct verb every time. Okay, you've seen the different forms, you've learned the rules. I think it's time for a quick pop quiz to see what's sticking. Don't worry, there's no pressure. This is just for fun. You ready? First one, nice and easy. How do you say I am? I'll give you a second to think. Soy. Yes, you got it. Whether you say yo soy or just soy, that is the one. Fantastic start. Okay, next up, how would you say they are? Son, exactly. Ellos son or ellas son. You're on a roll. Excellent work. And for the last one in this round,
How do we say we are?
Somos. Brilliant. Nosotros somos. Look at you, you're already getting the hang of conjugating this super important verb. Great job.
Whew, we have covered a lot, so let's put it all together in one handy place. Here it is, your ultimate Ser cheat sheet. You've got all the conjugations right there, the POPIN acronym to remind you when to use it, and that key rule about jobs. This is the perfect slide to screenshot or jot down in your notes. Now, how do you take this from the screen and really lock it into your brain? Well, the key is active practice. It's not enough to just watch. So try this. Create some simple flashcards. Quiz yourself on the conjugations while you're driving or just walking around. And here's a little challenge for you. Try writing just one simple sentence a day using a different POPIN rule each time. That tiny, consistent effort makes a massive difference, I promise. And that brings us to the end of our lesson. But, the learning doesn't stop here. The absolute best way to make this knowledge your own is to use it, like right now. So I've got a final question for you. Who are you? Head on down to the comments and introduce yourself. Start with, Hola, yo soy, and tell us your name, where you're from, or what you do. Buena suerte. Good luck.